Imagine building a multi-million-dollar empire from forgotten junk, only to sell it all for reasons that go beyond money. Drew Pritchard, once the undisputed king of British salvage, shocked the world by auctioning off over 600 treasured items, a move that left fans stunned and heartbroken. What could drive a man so deeply connected to history and restoration to let go of his life's work in such a final way? Behind the antiques and the television fame lies a story of relentless passion shadowed by personal heartbreak, scandal, and loss. This is not just the tale of a businessman. It's a raw journey through dreams shattered and a legacy redefined, one piece of salvage at a time. In 2024, Drew Pritchard stunned both fans and collectors by auctioning off over 600 items from his personal collection, a move no one saw coming. Among the pieces were rare artifacts such as a fairground boat from the 1930s and vintage signs, even fragments salvaged from Buckingham Palace. The auction raised around $800,000, an impressive figure that hinted at the value of the treasures he had collected over decades. Yet, the sale wasn't motivated by financial gain. It was an emotional surrender, an ending to a chapter filled with passion and heartbreak. Drew himself described letting go of these items as saying goodbye to old friends. Each piece was a link to his past, a memory woven into his identity and career. For many, the auction felt like more than just a sale. It was the public closing of a door on the life Drew had built. Fans and collectors alike expressed disbelief that someone so deeply connected to the craft of salvage and restoration would part with their legacy in such a sweeping way. It revealed a vulnerability beneath the confident exterior of the salvage king. This dramatic decision did not happen in isolation. It was the culmination of several personal and professional upheavals, divorce, scandal, and even a ban from local pubs where he once found community. All these elements converged, pushing Drew toward a quiet, yet painful farewell to the world he once ruled. While outsiders might have seen only a business transaction, those close to him recognized the silent weight behind this move. It was surrendering more than objects. It was relinquishing a part of himself. The auction raised difficult questions. Why would a man who had dedicated his life to rescuing history, reviving forgotten treasures, and sharing them with the world choose to dismantle his collection? Was it exhaustion from years on television, the strain of public scrutiny, or the fallout from personal mistakes? The answers would reveal the human side of a story too often covered only in success and spectacle. This auction was just the beginning of uncovering that deeper truth. It's impossible to underestimate how much Drew's collection meant to him. Each item carried stories of dangerous expeditions, narrow escapes, and triumphs that fueled a career spanning decades. The very act of selling felt like a loss of identity, echoing through the salvage world and the hearts of those who followed his journey. But behind that pain lay the necessity of moving on, a crossroads no collector or entrepreneur ever wishes to face so publicly. The event also symbolized a larger narrative of change. The man who once centralized his life around gathering and restoring antiques was shifting towards something quieter, perhaps more private. His departure from the public eye and the auction symbolized a profound transformation not just in business, but in his personal life and priorities. It raised gentle but haunting questions about what remains when passion is no longer enough. As the auction realized hundreds of thousands of dollars, it paradoxically underscored a loss greater than any monetary value. The king of salvage was stepping back, and with that came uncertainty over what lay ahead. Fans were left not only admiring the items, but mourning the chapter they came from. This was not just about antiques changing hands. It was about a man reckoning with the cost of his own story. The mystery behind Drew's decision drew many to speculate, but the truth, wrapped in layers of personal turmoil, held far more complexity than anyone expected. It was a raw admission that sometimes, passion alone cannot sustain a legacy when life's pressures mount too high. The story was far from over, but that auction was undeniably the start of an ending no one could ignore. Looking beyond the auction, one must understand the roots that fed Drew's dedication and the struggles that shaped the man who would become a national figure in salvage. Growing up in North Wales during hard times sowed the seeds of Drew Pritchard's extraordinary journey. In a small town overshadowed by medieval castles, he was raised in a modest household where every penny counted. His parents ran a tiny corner shop struggling to survive during a decade marked by economic hardship and shrinking job opportunities. This environment was one where making do was not just a choice, but a necessity. From an early age, Drew's perspective on junk differed from that of other children. While his peers played games, he scavenged flea markets and dumps, fascinated by discarded objects others ignored. By the age of 8, he was collecting over 500 bottle caps, clever enough to use them as currency at school. Neighbors might have seen eccentricity, but Drew was absorbing a passion fueled by stories from his grandfather, a World War II veteran who shared tales of hidden treasures and war relics. Those stories ignited an unquenchable fire within him. Soon, young Drew was sneaking into scrapyards and abandoned buildings, seeking fragments of history with a sense of adventure few could match. He narrowly escaped death when a mound of junk nearly buried him alive, a testament to the dangerous path he willingly chose. By 12, he owned a collection of war artifacts and old coins worth over $200, selling extras to scrape together pocket money. Life at home was no less difficult. The combined income of the family stayed under $5,000 a year, and luxuries were not common at all, while harsh winters made it even harder. Drew's father was a sign writer who could apply gold leaf to the pub's signs and became an inspiration and a cautionary tale at the same time. The use of lead-based paints took a toll on the father's health and left him shaking. Overcoming this silently was Drew's watch, and it was his first contact with how terrific and risky restoration work could be at the same time. Drew's own battles with risks started pretty early. When he was only 10 years old, he would take the tools from his dad's set to fix the broken toys. During one of the incidents, he got electrocuted and required stitches. In the backyard, he collected broken bicycles which soon were so piled up that the neighbors were complaining about rats. But he couldn't stop, his spirit being a mixture of curiosity and determination, even when school was a battle. His teachers misread him, ignorant of the fact that he was dyslexic and that his chronic absences were simply a way of his being unafraid of seeking the forgotten places. Drew's poor academic performance didn't diminish his remarkable artistic talent, for he managed to draw the crumbling Victorian buildings in great detail that won him a regional prize. He got injured every now and then during his daring exploits, such as a broken arm from falling through a decayed floor, but at the same time he explored more than 40 deserted places by the time he was 15. Still, these early adventures gave him the boldness and attention to detail that were to characterize his future career. At the age of 15, Drew took a job in a car restoration workshop, where he learned not only how to fix classic cars, but also how to deal with dishonest people, which was, in fact, the reason that he decided to leave the job while his integrity remained intact. In 1986, the turning point came when he unearthed a Victorian gas lamp that was buried under tons of trash. He sold it for $50, and he reinvested in his tools and became serious about collecting. From these roots, Drew built not just a collection, but a lifelong mission that soon captured wider attention beyond local markets. With a foundation built on early resilience, Drew's rise to prominence in salvage was fueled by ambition and an uncanny ability to spot value where others saw only junk. By the early 1990s, he was working a double life, apprenticing in stained glass restoration while trading antiques at local markets. His first solo purchase in 1988 was a set of broken Georgian chairs bought for $100, restored over weeks, and sold for $300. This early success proved his instincts were sound, and that persistence could turn small wins into bigger opportunities. In 1993, with just a $2,000 bank loan, Drew opened his first antique shop in Conway. The business grew despite detractors who questioned his expertise. His shop became a hub for builders and designers seeking authentic architectural pieces, fueling a revival in regional appreciation for salvaged history. Drew's work helped not only preserve objects, but also attracted visitors to the town, blending commerce with cultural conservation. Expanding beyond Wales, Drew began working with demolition crews across the UK by 1995, buying valuable materials before destruction erased them forever. His knack for quick deals and spotting rarity turned risks into profit. He recalled instances where a live World War II bomb delayed operations, but did not deter him. He accumulated vast amounts of slate, iron, and wood annually, becoming well known among London's design circles. Success attracted challenges. A burglary in 1997 cost him thousands and lost stock and nearly bankrupted him.